Welcome to another Century 21 affiliated market update. I'm Dan Kruse, your president and CEO. We are now into July of 2019 and the summer market is here, which is fantastic to see. I'm going to give you guys a little market update of what's going on and give you a little take on what's happened throughout this year so far and a little bit of what we see throughout the rest of this year coming up. But there is no doubt we faced a little bit of a slow start to this 2019 year. And I've talked about this in market updates in the past. Q1 was just one of those slow quarters for us. And I personally think it had a lot to do with the weather that we faced over these winter months, certainly throughout the Midwest. January and February were just really tough months. A lot of buyers and sellers did not want to do anything. And in my opinion, we saw a prolonged spring market. So if you think about our traditional market times, we see a nice jump start in kind of the March, April months. That's really the kickstart to the spring selling season. And then we see that take place all the way usually till kids go back into school in September, October-ish. The busy season for us really didn't get started until May of this year and almost into June. And a lot of that, in my opinion, was just a delayed spring market. But we certainly are starting to see really good things take place right now. In fact, we closed out June and had the largest closing day in the history of Century 21 affiliated. We actually paid out over $1.8 million to you guys as agents in the company in a single closing day. So that broke the record for the most closing dollars we've ever paid out in a single day, which is great to see. And I think also just a really good sign that the marketplace is starting to recover and we're starting to see a reaction in the spring market and the summer market is definitely here. So all good signs right now. I want to give you guys a couple updates as well. I like giving you a few numbers. I pulled the National Association of numbers for you, and I want to give you some of our numbers. Now, granted, June's numbers have not come out yet, so these are May numbers, but National Association of Realtors reported through May 2019 compared to 2018 was down slightly, down 1.1% in sales, yet up 4.8% in median sales price. This actually marked 87 consecutive months of median sales price increase throughout the National Association of Realtors across the U.S. Century 21 affiliated, us as a collective group, continue to outperform NAR in the national statistics. We're actually up 4.4% in sales, same time through May of 2019 versus 2018, and we were up 6% in our median sales price. I also pulled a bunch of the state numbers throughout Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Florida, where we do business. The state trends are very similar to what we're seeing on a national scale, which means we're outperforming both the national levels and almost every single local and state market that we're in. So kudos to all of you. You guys continue to rock, continue to outperform what's taking place on those trend lines across the U.S. and our national and state scales. Just a little color, I think, on what's going on right now, too. It's kind of a really interesting time in our industry, in my opinion. We are seeing kind of some economic shifts taking place, but really I think things are overall really in a good place. There's still a really strong buyer demand out there. Interest rates are still low, so lending conditions are good. We continue to face this, I would say, annoyance of low inventory across almost every single market that we do business in. We are seeing more inventory start to hit the market, new existing listings starting to come online. However, just less than we have seen in years past. And with the buyer demand out there, there is a frustration, especially I would say in that starter to mid-size range market where first-time home buyers are trying to find a place. They can't find it. They write 4, 5, 6 offers, don't get anything accepted. They get frustrated. And even some buyers saying, well, I'm just going to sit on the sidelines or we're going to rent a little longer. Hopefully we will start to see more inventory hit the marketplace throughout the summer and that lighten up a little bit and the stress level on that buyer side start to relax. We are starting to see some more new construction take place. However, I would say there's a pricing issue we're facing a little bit. Between materials and subs, it's really tough to get affordable new construction in the marketplaces. So those homes that are coming online for new construction are in that higher price range, which means we're still having this gap in that kind of first-time home buyer market. I would say most of our markets, that's kind of that 175 to maybe 275 range, and we definitely have a lack of inventory in those marketplaces. All things considered, though, the overall real estate industry is, I think, still in a really good place. There's a couple theories out there. Some people are worried that we're starting to tip out and may face a recession coming up. A lot of that has to do with median sales price continue to be on the rise. And some people just saying, are we hitting the tipping point, right? Are we at the point in which pricing is just hitting the high level and we're going to start to see that pull back a little bit in the start of a recession? Others think we haven't seen a full recovery since the recession of '08, and we have good times ahead of us. My personal opinion, real estate will always run in cycles. So we probably will see some sort of downturn take place, but I don't really think it's going to happen, certainly in the next 12 months, probably not in the next 18 months. So I definitely think we have a good selling season ahead of us in 2019. And when all the dust settles, I think this year will still be a really, really solid year for real estate. All those things also intact. Century 21 affiliated us as a company. I think we're positioned extremely well, whether the market continues to rise and take advantage of that, or even if we see a little bit of a downturn. I think we're positioned extremely well to make sure we take advantage of those trends in the marketplace and even a downturn that might take place. More to come as we see the rest of this year play out, and we'll let you know. I know we're going a little long, but I want to just make a couple notes for a few things that have taken place, because there's some really neat things that have happened over the last 30 days in the world of Century 21 affiliated. One, our very own Jake Schneider out of our Delafield, Wisconsin office was featured on Good Morning America about 2 weeks ago. He was featured as an agent representing a millennial buyer in a big city market in the Milwaukee area. It was a really great piece. We blasted it out across social media. Proud of Jake. You represented the brand well, represented Century 21 affiliated well. If you haven't seen it, please go into our Facebook page, check it out. It was a great 2-minute segment on a national broadcast featuring Century 21 affiliated, which is really cool. The second one is I want to give a little kudos to Lori Hageman Davis. She was just featured as one of the Relentless Award winners through Century 21 International. They picked about 6 agents that had really, really high remarks on the quality service surveys that go out to our client base. She showed outstanding service. She had great reviews and had some outstanding surveys that came back. And they picked her as one of the 6 agents across the entire platform and sent her out to the ESPYs, which was a really cool experience that took place here in early July. She said it was a great experience. She was over the moon about it and just really proud of her for that accomplishment. So 2 agents I wanted to just showcase in the market update here. And then lastly, I want to talk about the agent rally that's coming up. That will take place on October 30th. It will be at the Renaissance Hotel, where we've had it the last couple of years. That is down in Schaumburg, Illinois. We have got some fantastic speakers that are going to be at that event. We got some great breakout sessions, and we're going to have a lot of fun at it. So mark your calendars. There will be an email following up to this market update that will go out to all of you on how you RSVP, and then more details about that event. So put on your calendar. Look forward to seeing you all there, and then more market updates to come throughout the rest of this year. Enjoy the selling season. I hope everybody's having a really, really great summer and taking advantage of what's going on. Have a great one, guys, and we'll all talk soon. Thanks.